So the Roman Catholic Church says that's our guy. Well, that guy believed in what we believe. The people they hold up as the legends of their faith would have been really good Protestants, actually.
So over the last couple semesters, I've made a handful of Catholic friends. Would you have any maybe tips or advice on how I can discuss spiritual things with them?
That's a great question. Speaking the truth in love is important, right? And it's very easy for a guy like me on Sunday to stand up and rail against Catholics. It's different when it's you in that, lunch meeting or whatever. So I get that. You got to be careful and you want to be wise as to how you approach it. I've found in personal evangelism with Roman Catholics, one of the best ways to get after it with them, because sometimes they don't even know their doctrine, right? You can tell them until you're blue in the face what they believe or what their church believes, and they don't know. Most of them, they're nominal. They're not really even practicing. I'm not sure about in that situation. One area that's really helpful is to study pre-Reformation history with them. And by that I mean helping them to see how the seed of truth was always with us on the Protestant side. It was the Catholic side that diverted over time. I tell the story somewhat often about this guy named Clement of Rome, who was I want to say early 2nd century, it's like early 100s church father. And he wrote an epistle. I think it's called Clement to the Philippians or something like that, just like we have a book to the Philippians from Paul. And that book reads like Romans, like it just be justification by faith, no works. Works don't contribute to faith. Now, the crazy thing is Clement of Rome is considered a pope of the Roman Catholic Church. So the Roman Catholic Church says that's our guy. It goes from Peter to some other guy to some other guy to him. Well, that guy believed in what we believe about justification by faith alone in Christ alone. There was no mention of Mary. All those doctrines came way later in the history of the church, of that church. So even helping somebody to see that their own church early on, their faith resembled the people they hold up as the legends of their faith would have been really good Protestants, actually. It only came later as they were trying to grab power and take on land and kingdom and that sort of thing, that the papacy arose and other things that are associated with the Catholic Church happened. There's a great book called Long Before Luther, written by Nathan Busenitz, who taught me church history at the Master's Seminary, that he goes through all this pre-Reformation church history, Catholic history, to show that they used to be more like us, and then they went wayward as the centuries went on. So something like that might actually be kind of a helpful study to do with somebody, and I guarantee you they're not going to know any of this. They're not going to know who Clement of Rome is, but it can show them that you're doing your homework, you care about them, and you want them to know what their church believes and how it went wayward.
Yeah, and I'd recommend Jesse's podcast on the subject. He did a podcast November of last year called What Are We to Make of Roman Catholicism? So 42 minutes, very, very helpful. So I'd recommend that to you and to anyone else who's interested.